You've noticed it before, even if you didn't have words for it. The strange way life seems to whisper back the same tone you speak to it with. You wake up already heavy, and the day keeps proving you right. Or you start with one calm, grounded breath, and somehow, without any logic, the world softens around you. It's not coincidence, it's resonance. Reality isn't a blank screen where events randomly appear. It's more like a chamber of sound. Every thought, every emotion, every subtle belief you carry sends out a note that returns amplified. You don't see air vibrating when you speak, but you feel its echo. In the same way, the energy you emit is constantly bouncing back as people, timing, opportunities, or resistance. You can't fake the tone. The field always knows what you actually mean beneath your words. You might say, "I'm ready for abundance," but if your nervous system hums with fear of lack, that's the real broadcast. The echo comes back in the form of another bill, another delay, another almost but not quite moment. Think of your life as a vast hall that records everything you vibrate. When you send out love, coherence, or faith, the echo that returns is not random, it's harmonic. When you send out doubt, tension, or desperation, the echo distorts. The universe isn't judging, it's simply replaying the signal it receives. Once this clicks, the question shifts from, "Why isn't life giving me what I want?" to, "What am I actually transmitting right now?" Because this echo, this mirrored feedback of reality, has never been about deserving or luck. It's about frequency literacy. The moment you begin to hear what your energy sounds like, you realize everything around you has been trying to tell you all along. And once that awareness locks in, you'll never experience a single event, delay, or coincidence as random again. Everything is the echo of you. If reality echoes back your energy, then what's really happening beneath that surface reflection? Let's go deeper, beyond the poetic idea and into the mechanics. Imagine for a second that every thought is a vibration, but not the kind that only lives in your head. It's electromagnetic, radiating from your heart, your nervous system, your whole field. When you observe the world, you don't just see. It's as if your observation sends a subtle pulse through the field. That pulse interacts with the invisible structure of reality, just like sound waves meeting the walls of a canyon. And what comes back to you is not judgment, it's resonance. This is where the observer effect from quantum physics offers a hint. At the smallest scales, particles don't behave like fixed things until they're observed. The act of observation organizes them. But here's the piece most people miss. It's not only visual observation, it's the quality of your attention that shapes the outcome. Calm, open attention creates coherence. Anxious, desperate attention scrambles it. So when you tune your internal state, you're not pretending. You're realigning your broadcast to the field's natural rhythm. It's not mysticism, it's physics wearing a poetic disguise. The frequency you embody changes how the world arranges around you because it shifts what timeline, what set of possibilities can resonate with you. Think of yourself as a tuning fork inside an infinite hall. Strike one note, fear, and the environment begins to hum in sympathetic tension. Strike another, trust, and suddenly new harmonics emerge. You don't force the echo to change. You change the sound you're sending. This explains why two people can live the same event and experience entirely different realities. One vibrates safety and life shows them openings. The other vibrates survival and life mirrors obstacles. Same stage, different frequency, completely different echo. Most of us were taught to chase better outcomes by pushing harder, thinking more, doing more. But the field doesn't respond to volume. It responds to coherence. The clearer your signal, the cleaner your echo. And this is where the real shift begins. The moment you stop trying to change the echo and start tuning the source of the sound itself. Because if everything you experience is a reflection of your tone, what happens when the tone finally changes? Let's break the biggest myth right here. You do not change reality by saying the right affirmations louder or visualizing harder. You change it by shifting the frequency of your being, something so quiet and deep that most people miss it entirely. Picture this. You've been waiting for a text from someone you care about. You've checked your phone more times than you'd ever admit. Every time the screen lights up, your heart jumps, hoping it's them. But underneath that hope is a tightness, a low hum of fear. What if they don't care? What if I scared them off? You might not say it, but your body is screaming it. And so the echo returns. Silence. The more you wait, the louder that silence feels. Not because you're being punished, but because the frequency you're transmitting is waiting. You're tuned to absence, not presence. The field has no choice but to mirror that note perfectly. This is how most people live, trying to manipulate the mirror instead of shifting what's in front of it. They say, "I'm confident," while their breath stays shallow. They say, "I trust life," but every muscle is still braced. The universe isn't responding to words. It's responding to the embodied signal. Here's the truth that frees you once it lands. You don't manifest outcomes by pretending to feel aligned. You manifest through the coherence between your thought, emotion, and body. The echo doesn't lie. If you're still rehearsing lack beneath your surface, that's what's amplified back. The paradox is that when you stop trying to force a different response and instead feel the frequency you actually want as if it's already present, the entire tone of the field shifts. The echo softens. Responses begin to arrive without effort, because you finally sound like the version of you who already has what you wanted. Most people never get that far, because they stay stuck in performance mode, trying to say alignment instead of being it. But what if the missing step isn't more effort, but more safety? What if the reason your frequency keeps wobbling isn't because you're weak, but because your nervous system still believes it's not safe to relax into receiving? That's where everything changes. Your nervous system is the bridge between energy and matter. It's the translator that tells your body, and therefore your field, whether life is safe or threatening. And here's the part few people realize. If your system doesn't feel safe, no amount of mindset work can stabilize your frequency. You can think high-vibe thoughts all day, but if your body is still in protection mode, your echo will still sound like defense. Safety is coherence. It's the baseline note that allows your signal to carry clearly through the field. When you're regulated, your energy doesn't leak in a dozen directions. It flows. That's when the echo finally has something stable to mirror back. You can't fake regulation. The body knows. So instead of forcing your mind to believe, start by teaching your body what safety feels like again. Here's a simple practice, 40 seconds that can change the entire tone of your day. Pause. Close your eyes if you can. Place a hand over your chest, one on your belly. Feel where your breath naturally moves. Without changing it, simply listen to it, like you're tuning into a faint rhythm behind the noise. Now breathe a little slower. Imagine your inhale and exhale tracing a gentle figure 8 through your heart. As you do, think of one moment, recent or distant, where you felt completely safe. Not excited, not proud, just safe. Maybe it's a memory of sunlight through your window, or the feeling of a friend's steady presence. Let your body remember that texture. Hold that sensation for 3 breaths. Let it settle, not as a thought, but as a frequency. When you open your eyes, notice how everything feels a little quieter. That quiet is coherence forming. This is how your energy becomes trustworthy to the field again. Because when your nervous system stops scanning for threat, your attention naturally expands. You're no longer echoing fear. You're echoing openness. And the world, faithfully, echoes it back. Safety is not a side quest. It's the key to transmission. The universe can only match what you can safely hold. And once your signal stabilizes, something even deeper begins to unfold. Because safety doesn't just change your state. It starts to rewrite who you believe you are. Most people chase better states, moments of calm, confidence, or clarity, and wonder why they never last. But here's the truth. A state is temporary. An identity is persistent. If you keep identifying as the person trying to manifest peace, your nervous system will always return to the baseline of trying. You've probably felt that loop before. You meditate, journal, breathe, and for a few hours you're in flow. But by night, the old static creeps back in. It's not that the practice failed, it's that your inner signal still says, "I'm someone who needs to fix myself to feel safe." The echo obeys. Life keeps giving you mirrors that prove you have something to fix. To shift the echo permanently, you have to update the self that's sending it. This isn't about pretending to be a new person. It's about remembering the frequency of the version of you that already exists on another level. The one who doesn't try to be peaceful, but naturally resonates peace. The one who doesn't chase abundance, but assumes it's her normal rhythm. Think of it this way. Your identity is the tone that never stops playing under every thought. Even when you speak words of trust, if the tone beneath them hums with self-doubt, the field reads that. It doesn't care what note you intend to play. It harmonizes with the one you are. This is where embodiment enters. To become the new tone, you have to feel it in your cells. To walk differently, breathe differently, even gesture from the energy of that future self, not as performance, but as recalibration. It's like retuning the instrument before you start the song. Most people are still trying to change the lyrics while ignoring the instrument that plays them, but when the tone shifts, the music, the reality, reshapes itself without resistance. And that's the bridge to something extraordinary. Because once you realize that your identity itself determines which version of reality can even hear you, a new possibility opens that few dare to explore. What if every identity you've ever dreamed of already exists, each vibrating on its own frequency, waiting for you to tune to it? Imagine reality not as a single timeline, but as a symphony of infinite melodies, each representing a version of you that already exists. One version struggles, one thrives, one doubts, one trusts. You don't create these realities from scratch. You tune into them through identity. Every time you shift who you believe yourself to be, you subtly change the frequency that your consciousness can detect. It's like spinning a dial on an old radio. Static, static, and suddenly, clarity. The song was always playing. You just weren't on its wavelength yet. This isn't fantasy. It's resonance physics meeting self-perception. Your identity acts as a filter that decides what information and opportunities even reach your awareness. If you vibrate as the one who struggles, your nervous system literally screens out the signals that belong to ease. It can't see them because they're out of phase with your tone. Now picture this in real life. Scenario 2. You're sitting in an interview for a job you really want. You've done the preparation, memorized the answers, but beneath the surface, there's still a subtle contraction. A thought that whispers, they probably have better candidates. That vibration leaks into your tone, your timing, even your micro-expressions. The person across the table doesn't consciously notice it, but the field between you does. The echo forms immediately. They sense uncertainty, and their energy mirrors it back. But what happens if you arrive already tuned to the identity of someone who belongs there? You don't perform confidence, you radiate it. You breathe slower. Your words stretch with ease. You're no longer chasing approval, you're simply broadcasting coherence. The echo changes. Doors open. Conversations flow. The outcome feels inevitable because you've already become the version of yourself who would receive it. Every timeline is just an energetic pattern waiting for your coherence to meet it. The moment your vibration matches a new pattern, you don't manifest that timeline. You merge with it. Reality rearranges around your new signal with mathematical precision. That's why forcing doesn't work. It scrambles your frequency. But alignment makes the field recompose itself naturally, like harmonics forming around a clear note. And this is where the true artistry of manifestation begins. When you stop trying to jump timelines with effort and start rehearsing the vibration of the one that already feels like home. So how do you rehearse a new vibration? Not as an idea, but as a lived frequency your body actually believes. Because this isn't about saying new mantras. It's about teaching your system to broadcast a new tone so steadily that reality has no choice but to echo it. Start with bridge statements. These are phrases that gently align your energy without triggering disbelief. Instead of, I'm completely free from fear, try, I'm learning what safety feels like in my body. Instead of, I'm wealthy, try, I'm beginning to see how support keeps finding me. The goal isn't perfection, it's resonance. Each bridge statement tunes your field slightly closer to the frequency of the version you're becoming. Then, somatic anchors. Your body needs a physical cue that reminds it of your chosen frequency. Maybe it's the way that future version of you stands. Shoulders relaxed, spine tall, breathing from the belly. Or maybe it's a gesture, touching your heart before you speak, a grounding exhale before you act. Every repetition trains your nervous system to remember the signal of coherence. Next, emotional rehearsal. Close your eyes and imagine the echo of reality already responding to your new tone. What would life feel like if your energy were already matched by circumstances? Don't see it, feel it. The warmth in your chest, the soft excitement in your belly, the stillness behind your thoughts. Let your body memorize that emotional frequency as if it's happening now. Finally, micro-embodiments. These are small, real-world rehearsals. Order coffee as the version of you who already feels abundant. Walk into a room as the one who already belongs. Respond to an email as if opportunities chase you, not the other way around. Every small act becomes a tuning session for your field. And this is how timelines collapse. Not through magic, but through embodied repetition. You stop playing the note of waiting and start sustaining the note of already. The field adjusts its harmonics instantly, echoing the tone you've claimed. The beauty of this process is that it works quietly. You don't have to prove anything or announce your transformation. The field hears you long before people do. Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop gripping, what you wanted finally shows up? Tell me your story in the comments. It might unlock someone else's leap. Even when you start embodying your new frequency, 3 subtle traps can pull you back into static: urgency, split signals, and over-control. They're sneaky because they look like progress at first, but each one distorts your tone. Urgency is the illusion that time is running out. It feels like momentum, but it's actually panic disguised as productivity. When urgency enters your energy, the echo you send is pressure. The universe mirrors that back as delay, missed timing, or effort that never lands. The antidote isn't laziness, it's presence. Every time you feel the push of "I need this to happen now," take one breath slower than your mind wants to. That single exhale resets your signal from grasping to receiving. The echo will soften. Then come split signals. When part of you is broadcasting desire while another part whispers, "It's not safe." You might consciously want love, but subconsciously equate it with rejection. You might ask for abundance, but still identify with struggle. The field doesn't judge. It just hears the interference pattern and sends back confusion. Integration begins when you stop shaming the part that doubts and start including it. Whisper to it, "You can come with me." That simple inner permission collapses internal static into coherence. And then over-control, the silent killer of manifestation. It's what happens when you try to manage every detail so the outcome feels predictable, but predictability belongs to survival, not creation. Control constricts your field, making your energy brittle and non-receptive. The more you force reality, the less it can echo back anything new. True power comes from calibrated surrender, the art of steering your energy, not strangling it. To transmute over control, practice what I call micro-surrenders. Choose one thing each day to release your grip on. A message you don't double-check, an outcome you don't chase, a plan you let breathe. Every time you release tension, your signal becomes more musical. You shift from static to song. Because coherence isn't just clarity, it's trust expressed through vibration. And the more your trust grows, the more reality bends around it. When that happens, even the simplest moments of your day, your walk, your coffee, your silence, start becoming tuning rituals. And that's where the next evolution unfolds. Integration isn't about rituals you do in isolation, it's about who you're being while living. The real mastery begins when coherence follows you into the most ordinary corners of your day. When you walk, for example, your pace tells the field everything. Most people walk like they're slightly behind on time, their energy leaning forward, chasing a future moment. But if you walk as if you're already in rhythm with life, as if every step is perfectly timed, the body transmits ease. The field hears it. Circumstances begin to unfold in sync. When you eat, notice your frequency. Are you chewing fast, half scrolling, half anxious? Or are you grounded enough to actually taste what's nourishing you? Conscious eating isn't a wellness trend. It's a vibrational practice. It trains your system to believe that safety and support already exist right now. Even conversations are frequency tests. When someone challenges you, do you tighten, defend, rush to prove? Or can you stay anchored, knowing your coherence doesn't need validation? Every interaction is the field asking, "Do you still know who you are?" And creativity, oh, that's where you really hear your echo. If you create from tension, your work feels like strain. But when you create from resonance, writing, speaking, performing, life starts collaborating. Ideas appear from nowhere. Timing clicks effortlessly. Doors open at angles your mind could never calculate. This is what living in coherence actually means. Your nervous system, thoughts, and energy holding the same rhythm, even while emails come in, traffic builds, or plans change. You stop using practice to escape life and start using life to deepen practice. And here's the strange part. You begin to notice the echo speed up. What once took months to mirror now returns in days, sometimes hours. Because your frequency has become a consistent tone, the field no longer needs to test your signal for stability. But there's a deeper threshold beyond integration, one that takes this from personal manifestation into something far more expanded, where your frequency doesn't just shape your life, but starts influencing the field for others. And when you reach that level, the echo of reality stops sounding like repetition. It starts sounding like evolution. Once your personal field stabilizes, the echo doesn't stop with you. It begins to ripple outward. Your coherence starts reordering everything it touches: relationships, creativity, health, even the way your purpose expresses itself in the world, because energy is contagious. Every regulated nervous system becomes a tuning fork for others. When you walk into a room anchored in resonance, people feel it before you speak. Conversations shift. Conflicts dissolve faster. It's not manipulation, it's entrainment. You've become a living calibration point for harmony. Let's ground that in something real. Scenario 3. Imagine you're in the middle of a heated disagreement with someone close to you. Normally, your instinct would be to match their volume or withdraw to protect your peace. But this time, you stay centered. You breathe, you listen, and your system stays open. Your tone doesn't spike, it deepens. Within minutes, their energy begins to mirror yours. Their words slow down, their shoulders drop. You didn't argue your way to peace, you broadcasted it. That's the unseen power of coherence. It reorganizes the collective field just by existing. The same thing happens in your work. When you create from alignment, your projects carry a frequency people can feel. It's what makes art timeless, businesses magnetic, and leaders trustworthy. Your energy speaks louder than any marketing strategy. Even your health begins to respond. Cells, like everything else, listen to vibration. When your inner environment hums with trust, your body moves out of chronic defense and back into repair. The immune system balances, digestion calms, sleep deepens. Not as miracles, but as the biology of safety restored. And purpose. Purpose becomes less about achievement and more about transmission. You stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "What frequency am I here to anchor?" Your actions naturally align from there. You become a node of coherence in a network of resonance, shaping the collective echo of humanity in ways words can't measure. This is the quiet revolution happening under everything, one regulated, resonant human at a time, tuning the field toward unity. But even that expansion has a deeper layer, one that transcends personal or social ripples entirely. Because eventually, you begin to sense that the field itself is not separate from you at all. At some point, the line between me and the field begins to blur. You start to feel that reality isn't responding to you. It is you, folding in and out of itself in perfect feedback loops. Every thought, every heartbeat, every moment of surrender is the universe knowing itself through you. This is where the echo becomes a conversation with something vast. Some call it source, some call it consciousness, others just call it life. Whatever name you choose, it's the same intelligence vibrating through every atom. And the deeper you move into coherence, the clearer you hear it. Not as a voice, but as guidance that moves through intuition, synchronicity, and stillness. What's wild is how paradoxical it becomes. The more you surrender, the more power you feel. The more you release control, the more life starts to orchestrate with impossible precision. It's like realizing the echo isn't bouncing back anymore. It's rising through you. You're both the sound and the canyon, both the call and the return. When you finally reach this state of awareness, you stop seeing manifestation as something to get and start seeing it as something to allow. Reality isn't withholding anything. It's waiting for your permission to harmonize with your truth. This level of embodiment feels quiet. Not euphoric, not dramatic, just deeply alive. You begin to walk through life as if the whole universe is breathing with you, exhaling in sync with your exhale, adjusting the world in microseconds to the tone of your being. And it doesn't mean challenges vanish. It means the challenges themselves become part of the song, temporary dissonances that refine your ear, helping you find an even purer tone. That's the spiritual dimension of all this. Surrender isn't weakness. It's resonance with intelligence so vast that control becomes unnecessary. You start trusting the echo as divine conversation. Every delay, every coincidence, every unexpected detour, just another way reality hums, "I heard you." And when you live that way, peace stops being an achievement. It becomes your natural frequency, your home note in the orchestra of everything. Eventually, you realize the entire journey, the waiting, the wanting, the practicing, was never about changing reality at all. It was about learning to hear your own echo. Everything you ever called fate or timing was the universe repeating your tone until you recognized it. Every silence that hurt, every delay that confused you, every coincidence that left you speechless, they were all responses, invitations to tune. The field was never against you. It was teaching you the sound of your own energy. Now you move through life differently. When something unfolds with ease, you smile, not in surprise, but in recognition. When something resists, you don't panic. You listen. You adjust your tone. because you know that what returns is not punishment or reward, it's resonance. The metaphor of the echo becomes more than a teaching, it becomes a way of perceiving. You begin to hear life as one vast acoustic space where every intention, every gesture, every breath ripples out and comes back transformed. You realize the canyon you were shouting into was never empty. It was alive, sentient, responsive. And the beauty is, the more you tune to love, to trust, to safety, the clearer the echo gets. Eventually, there's no delay between what you send and what you receive. The sound and its reflection merge into one seamless vibration. That's when you're no longer trying to create your reality. You're simply resonating it. So the next time life echoes something unexpected, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what tone did I send out just before this? That one question can dissolve years of confusion because it brings you back to authorship, not through control, but through awareness. Because once you realize reality is not a static backdrop, but a living instrument tuned to your frequency, you stop fearing its echoes. You start composing with them. And that's the moment everything changes, when you finally understand the universe has never been speaking to you or against you. It has always been singing as you.